had always thought that my home was a sanctuary, a place of safety and solitude where I could escape from the world outside. But that all changed when I started noticing strange occurrences. It began innocently enough, or so I thought. Small, subtle changes around the house that I initially attributed to my own forgetfulness. A chair moved from one side of the room to another. A cup left on the kitchen counter when I was sure I'd placed it in the sink. Little things that, individually, were easy to dismiss. I work from home, and the peculiar events usually took place while I was immersed in my work. The first time I truly noticed something was amiss, I was in my home office, typing away on my computer. I had left the door slightly ajar, as usual, to let some fresh air in. It was a bright, sunny day, but a shiver ran down my spine as I heard the faintest whisper of a breeze. I looked up to find the door wide open, casting long, eerie shadows into my room. I could have sworn I had locked it. I got up, my heart pounding, and quickly closed and locked the door again. I convinced myself that I must have forgotten to secure it properly and carried on with my work. But the incidents grew stranger. One evening, as I sat in the living room watching TV, the lights flickered and went out. I reached for my phone to call the power company, but then I heard it. A soft, unsettling giggle, like a child's laughter, coming from the darkness. I froze, feeling my heart race, and fumbled for a flashlight. As the beam of light pierced the blackness, I saw nothing unusual, but the giggling continued, echoing around me. My unease turned to terror, and I rushed to the door, escaping into the cool night air. I stayed at a neighbor's house that night. I called the police, but they found no signs of forced entry. They suggested it might be a prank or some electrical issue, but I couldn't shake the feeling that someone had been in my home. Over the next few weeks, the strange occurrences escalated. I would find my personal belongings rearranged in unsettling ways, photographs turned face down, books stacked in peculiar formations, and items in my bathroom arranged to form eerie symbols. The sense of dread that lingered in my home was suffocating. I began to suspect that someone was invading my space, watching my every move and relishing my discomfort. I installed security cameras, hoping to catch the intruder in the act. But the recordings revealed nothing unusual, just hours of mundane, everyday life. My nerves were frayed. I couldn't focus on my work, couldn't relax in my own home. My friends and family grew concerned, urging me to move or seek help, but I was determined to uncover the truth. One night, after returning from a friend's house, I found my bedroom door ajar. I hesitated before entering, my breath catching in my throat. Inside, the room was in disarray. My bed was stripped bare, and the walls were covered in cryptic drawings. Panic welled up inside me. As I stared at the unsettling symbols, a voice whispered from behind me, "You're finally here." I spun around, but there was no one there. The voice sounded distant and echoed, as though it emanated from the very walls themselves. Terrified, I fled my home once more, and this time, I didn't go back. I stayed with a friend, contemplating my next move. I knew that I had to get to the bottom of this, to confront the person responsible. I returned to my house with a renewed sense of determination, armed with a camera and a flashlight. I methodically searched every room, photographing the strange symbols on my bedroom walls. I even went into the attic, a place I had avoided since the strange occurrences began. Up in the attic, I made a chilling discovery. Tucked away in a dusty corner, I found a small tattered journal. Its pages were filled with obsessive rants and incoherent ramblings, all addressed to me. It was the journal of my stalker, a deeply disturbed individual who had been living in the hidden recesses of my home. I immediately contacted the police, and they apprehended the stalker, who had been living in my attic, watching my every move. It was a horrifying and unsettling experience, one that still haunts my dreams. My home is no longer the sanctuary it once was. The scars of that invasion run deep, and I am forever haunted by the realization that the person who had been stalking me was living just a few feet above my head, in the darkest corners of my own home.